This is kind of down in Fowler. This one is what some people say is a perfect farmer. They don't have a weed ever. This one is my regenerative forest. It's not as robust as Richard's, but it's functionally and it's helping me. So no matter where you're at in this kind of rock, there's a lot of journey. And all of us can take one step as we can adopt, and it's amazing the response. So what we're going to do is we're going to simulate what happens in the rain in each one of these conditions, and we're going to see what runs off. That would be the water that your neighbors didn't want it after a while because it also carried all the topsoil is going to have. And then underneath here we'll look at infiltration, so the water that's going down and making it through. So fire. Oh! Gotcha! Just like that always happens. Just like at SeaWorld. So we'll let this run for a few minutes. Monsoon, ready?
You can already start to see the runoff.
Anybody say that's a pretty heavy rain?
Yeah.
You ever driving something like that? So a couple of things are starting to happen. When you went to the demonstration at the different places, we kind of told this story. And what you've seen at the final station, my station, is how when you till soil, you will become chemically dependent on that soil, whether you want to or not. And so you're either going to have to come up with chemistries like gypsum or other supplements to try to open up that soil and get the water to penetrate. Otherwise, this is my dad would say, get out there and get that soil tilled so we can capture the water. And truly it would get wet, and it would get wet at a pretty good depth, because when I'd step out there in my boots wouldn't come back. The heavier the soil, look at what's happening here. We've already got a problem. We've locked up the soil, and we're not even at filled capacity. But the water has to go somewhere because it can't penetrate.
Yep.
Sandy soils, they can hold a lot more moisture. Heavy soils, that's surface moisture. But there is a point, and you can see it here, that we're already starting to puddle on the surface of the sandy soil.
That's where all the
So if we let the rain go, and all of a sudden, we're not even quite picking up an inch yet. It's good rain. We want that rain, right? But who is the farmers? Let's see if we can get some answers from what you've learned today. Who is the farmers that are more equipped to handle 1 inch of rain, 2 inches of rain, 3 inches of rain, 4 inches of rain? Oh man, what if we got 5 and 6 inches of rain? What does the valley floor look like? Flood. So as the rain keeps coming down, interesting things are starting to happen. What's happening here?
Walking away. Right. Somehow your funnel's not hitting this.
The funnels.
Oh, maybe no. Back under it. Maybe it's running out back there. No,
infiltrating through, penetrating
Through
the soil.
Infiltration through your
You
system.
have to go there. Yeah, no, it's supposed to. Yeah. That's the next secret. That's the next thing he's doing.
It was like something's wrong here. You're right, something's wrong here. We get the ability for that soil. Richard's wonderful, beautiful neighbors that do a good job of keeping down the weeds. We've already hit the capacity. We haven't even went to an inch. And look what's happening. We're sharing our love with our neighbors. All right? I didn't want that water. I'm going to sit it down in its bowl. Now, in a minute, I'm going to stop this. Okay? The sandy soils, again, we're getting pooling. We're not getting the flooding here. That's okay. There's a point where that won't hold anymore. But the story, I think we've got enough rain. Yeah, it's just like a new car. That is poor spore soil that Richard went up to the beginning of the lesson. So as we start telling the story, here and here, see a visual difference. These are structurally the same soils. These are farming completely different. Methodology, different. Structure, similar.
A dirt road separating those two samples.
And dirt roads separate.
I took it off the crate.
You and I do it so
No, we need the forklift. Forklift gets lowered to the tailgate or raised up to the tailgate and we build it off.
So these are empty. They can never die. That rain event, we didn't leave it long enough to
Did we get
capture.
your car open?
The forest floor could have handled a lot more. But sandy, even though we were starting to pull, it pushed it collapsed
Yeah.
my soil, and it took in more than we applied. There's a point where it's going to do exactly like this one, and this one will hold a lot longer than this one. Same concept. Now let's take the door off the front. Just reach back to the back.
This is the real interesting. I mean, the one has just nothing but runoff.
And we just received this machine. We didn't get to test it. So this is raw as you get. That's it. This is the first time.
This would be great for schools.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at that.
The water that actually soaked through to the roots. Wow, what a huge difference.
Over here on the sandy soil with the grasses on top, that's pretty good regenerative. You notice how little water is in that? But I didn't get anything in the front, right? What does that tell you about that soil?
With nothing?
I can keep going. So next, on my next sandy, when I didn't get anything in the front, but I started collecting some water underneath it, right? It won't last long. That'll stop because that plate will close down. All that chemistry will do. Will start doing its job and sealing up that soil, and then it'll all run up the front. Look at that forest floor. That just goes right through the top down to China. Good stuff. How about Richard's neighbor? Can they get any water?
Oh, that's the one you're talking about. Sorry. Yeah.
That one is a perfect example of how when your topsoil can no longer receive moisture because it is absolutely shut down, That water is not going down and benefiting our future. That is running to somebody else. So if you wanted your nitrogen that you applied to the topsoil, you probably aren't going to have it. Your neighbor does. If you wanted any of the benefits on your topsoil, it's probably over there. Now just convince your neighbor that that's your soil and that's your fertilizer, so you want to pull it back onto your land. That might be a gunfight. Same soil, separated by a road. You think he puts any of these microbes on his land? He's almost getting the same as the forest floor gets.
Where's my son? Why are we doing this, Dad?
Now, the fun part. Anybody want pictures before I do the next part? Yeah. Okay, take some pictures. Next part's a little destructive. So, just so that we can kind of gauge that it was uniform, it was not. He received almost 2 inches on this side. This side received about 1.5. And he still wins, even with more water. It didn't. It should have went right out the front. I tried to set it up so it would go right out the front. It didn't work, did it?
And the soil was already saturated from the last rain.
Can't even set Richard up. You ready? Ready, buddy? Let's save yours for last. Try to start that. Richard, flip that pan. Let's see what it looks like. Can you put it right on the ground?
Wow.
You can hold a lot more water, can't it? Yeah. You didn't lose it out the front, didn't get it on the bottom, and I could just let that thing keep raining away. Next.
That's one way to look at it.
That's a sloppy mess of water.
Still got that dry middle with just hold a little more rain. But look how the edges where it's starting to puddle are now starting to clump together, get muddy, and we build it, but the everything in that system will only work so far, and then it stops working. The whole, yeah, go ahead. Let's do it.
Want the good one?
That's funny.
Good. You want to describe that one?
Looks like the water hasn't even got to it.
Wow, it's dusty. Still dusty. Still
Unbelievable.
got a lot of, I mean, you'd have to pack in so much moisture to make that, even start absorbing. Go for your neighbors. Same, similar, dry in the middle. You get a lot of water on the outside, and that's what it just kind of starts falling apart and going. Water's going to go to the simplest place. And so rather than trying to make it through the soil, it went around the soil. Next. Is there any difference here? Drum roll.
Proud dad.
What? Did we get uniformity, Richard? Are you telling me that the water just didn't go everywhere that it wanted to? It went where you wanted it to go? So, ladies and gentlemen, I can't look back. Once I see this stuff, I'm stuck. I came from the world that loved the chemistry, that loved simple. This is a very complex world, and it takes a lot of understanding, and I'm telling you, the support, thankfully, we're growing with more and more support every day. But just 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when I started exploring this, I couldn't find any support. And now look at us today. And I want to give all of you this final applause because you all deserve it, and thank you for being here.
I got a few words to say. Again, for my son, right? The last 6 years of doing this, right? Taking him crawling through the forest, making Johnson Sue's, falling asleep on the after loading one, right? Not getting invited to the luncheons anymore or the fishing trips. I didn't realize what a 10-year-old really cares about. Dad, how come they don't bring us any hats by anymore? Right? Because as I stopped buying the stuff and I started doing this, it all stopped. Mm-hmm. And so, right, it was very difficult for me for that period, especially listening to, at that time, a 9, 10-year-old, you know, oh, Dad, you're crazy. Why are you doing this? And the both of them say we would go on what we call camping trips. The camping trip would turn into running around collecting leaf mold, which I told them this one day. I said, one day you'll look back and these will be some of the greatest memories you ever have. Now there was a lot of choice words, and it wasn't that why we were doing it, because when I called Preston and I said, hey, the smallest amount of stock I can get is about 25,000, half a truckload. As we were looking for mill run, and I said, how much leaf mold would you need to do that? He said, oh wow, maybe 4 truck beds. Well, I don't think he realized when he told me 4 truck beds that I would actually go out and do it. I don't think he was ready. I don't think he was ready for that. And then one day I called him and said, I'm ready. And he's like, what do you mean you're ready? Well, you said collect this much. He says, what do you mean? I sent him pictures, and I think he was a little overwhelmed, and then he knew what he was getting himself into. And but either way, it's been great and fun. This feels, you know, very, very. I really can't even think of the word, just because doing this is so difficult and hard. Like, how do you watch a video or read a book and then go out and apply this? I just had an idea, right? I had this thought that I could pull this off, and just, you know, and again, the people that you've seen today are people that I used to watch and call that didn't know who I was, like, right? Like, these are people that are all over on books and videos, and they have been so helpful, you know, answering the questions and guiding me along this process. A lot of hard work, but as we got all this stuff and put it out, I didn't even know that these results, right? Isn't this machine awesome?
Yes.
I knew that something was happening, especially from my 3rd generation father that farmed his whole entire life. He didn't understand it, but when he came out and he would look at the trees, he doesn't need a soil test or a leaf petiole or soil samples. He's been around it his whole entire life. That for me was way more than any other test I could do. When he came out and said, you're on to something, and he's like, look at the new wood, look at this, look at that. I knew something was right, and I just kind of dug in deeper, reached out to these speakers that are amongst you today, and said, okay, I need more. Come on, what's next? What do we do? Hayden, Dad, you're crazy. What do you mean? What do you mean we're going to go out on Saturday and go make another one? This is the stuff that we did, and to be able to sit here and see this is just, even for me, it's just it's known all the hard work and the ideas here And again, having this machine, I want to say thanks for everybody that was a part of this. Farmers Ag Network, being able to get this machine, because I went to them and asked for it, and we didn't know as of a week ago. We were, and I was hoping, and now I know why I was hoping for. It's going to be pretty hard for anybody that isn't doing this today to see this and walk away from this not thinking about it. And again, I'm not here to tell anybody you're doing it wrong or to change your mind. I'm here to help, and that's why I wanted to bring today, and that's why all these people are here, is that there's people to help. But the longer you wait, I think the farther behind you're going to get, and that this is I think is the future, and they're not going to be able to put the lid back on the box. This time it's not going to happen. We're here to continue, and I believe that this is the future of it. And so so many people to thank, but I still think we've got Dawn. You still have a good 10 minutes. I'd love for everybody to watch up, do some more talking, just get some Q&A, and then we'll get to the next presentation, which is the icing on the cake, which I think is something anybody can do. But yeah, thank all of you. Thank all of you for coming. We got one more presentation out here. We got Chris.